Welcome back. 14 before the hour. For the first time in a generation, pro football is heading back to Los Angeles. The St. Louis Rams, who moved from Southern California to the Midwest in the mid-1990s, are moving back to LA in time for next season. Their new multi-billion-dollar stadium, which is going to be amazing, may ultimately be home to two teams. Washington Post reporter Matt Bonesteel joins us now from the paper's newsroom downtown. Matt, we thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
This has been talked about for a long time, getting a team, and it turns out now perhaps two teams, back to Los Angeles. Lots of clubs have used the threat of a move to LA as leverage to get a new stadium where they are, but now it's happening. LA guaranteed to have one team, a team they know from the past, and two is a possibility.
Yeah, it's all coming together because the Rams owner, who just got fed up with this situation in St. Louis. The stadium was old, it was run down, it was not up to the standards, which allowed him to break his lease in St. Louis. And he's basically more or less paying for the stadium with his own money. He has a lot of it. So, and that helped grease the wheel a little bit to get this stadium proposal moving forward.
And what he's envisioning out there will easily be the most expensive stadium ever built, beyond what Jerry Jones spent to build his stadium in Texas, wherever it is.
Yep.
But it's eye-popping in terms of the vision and what all is going to be there. This is not just a bowl with some seats for football. He's thinking way beyond that.
Oh yeah, there's going to be residences and retail and meeting spaces and all this. I mean, he's basically redoing that whole neighborhood, and the NFL sees this as a chance to basically open a West Coast NFL headquarters. You know, they can have the draft combine there, they can do the Pro Bowl there, they can have Super Bowls there, obviously. I mean, it's in Southern California, so the weather is nice. Plus, the stadium's going to have a glass roof, so, you know, this is an all-weather type venue that can be used over and over again, and not just 10 times a year for 10 home games.
This is a gut punch for the football fans of St. Louis, who lost the Cardinals to Arizona many years ago. Now they've lost the Rams to Los Angeles. And San Diego fans are worried, no doubt, that the same fate awaits them, because under the discussions, under the agreement owners reached when they met this week, Chargers have the opportunity, if they wish to pursue it, to move to Inglewood and join the Rams in this new billion-dollar palace.
Yeah, the Chargers have a year to decide whether they're going to join up with the Rams in that stadium, and there's some things that they have to work out, whether they're going to be a tenant of the Rams or whether they're going to put their own money into help building the stadium, and how the revenue is going to be split up and all that stuff. But from what I've read and from all signs point to them probably doing that. It just makes too much sense to them to do it.
And if the window closes on San Diego with the Chargers staying put, then a window opens for the Raiders, who I guess don't even have a lease now where they are, and who are thinking about, or where there's a fallback position of joining the 49ers in their home.
Yeah, that seems like a long shot. The 49ers and the Raiders are, they're polar opposites basically, just from fan base and the ownership groups, and it wouldn't be all that. The stadium isn't convenient for 49ers fans right now, and it wouldn't be all that convenient for Oakland fans right now. So, they would probably be poised to sweep in if the Chargers, for some reason, decide to stay in San Diego, which, again, probably isn't going to happen. But, it could happen.
To me, the Raiders belong in Oakland. There's something so... maybe I've been watching too many old NFL films, videos, but the silver and black, the rundown nature of there's almost nostalgia around the fact that the Raiders don't have a great stadium. They've got that rabid fan base where they dress up, and there's all the stuff that goes on in the stands. Mm-hmm. The Raiders to me belong in Oakland if the numbers, of course, with all these things, the math has to work or it doesn't work.
Yeah, nostalgia doesn't pay the bills anymore, and it really never has. But there's also the sense that, they played in Los Angeles for however many years, 12 years, 13 years, something like that. So there's a fan base in Los Angeles that would go to Raiders games, just like there's a fan base there that would go to Rams games, too. So, in a sense, they could be in a good spot no matter if they stay in Oakland or if they go to L.A., but then again, neither of those things might happen. So,
but what's perhaps most remarkable about all of this is that for 20 years, I guess, the second largest media market in the nation had no football team. I don't think anyone thought this would last that long. Let's shift gears for a moment, though, and talk about the coaching carousel that is in motion right now. So many teams having fired their coach at the end of the 2015 year and looking for someone new. Many teams in just the last 24 hours have signed someone. You and I should probably focus on the NFC East, where one team, the Eagles, is still looking, and another team, the Giants, just promoted an internal candidate to replace Tom Coughlin.
Yeah, the Giants hired their offensive coordinator, Ben McAdoo. They promoted their offensive coordinator to head coach, and it's not a surprising move if you know the Giants. They like to keep things. They don't like to rock the boat like that and go out and make a splashy hire or go hire a Nick Saban or anything like that. And I think the players like what Ben McAdoo does, and Eli Manning especially likes the offense that he has. So in a sense, it's not a surprising move.
Chip Kelly, 3 years in Philadelphia, 2 of them with great results. The last year, not so much. In fact, his firing came before the regular season was over. Lots of attention, lots of focus on Chip Kelly because of the success he had in college ball, and the question, would his system and his style translate to the pros? As I say, some success, but not enough to keep his job. The Philly vacancy is still there.
It is, and the strange thing is now they're apparently they're taking a hard look at Tom Coughlin, who has just stepped down as the Giants coach. So he wouldn't, he could be coaching against his old team next year, which would make things really interesting in the NFC East, even more than they already are.
Sorry to step on you there. We have about 45 seconds left.
Okay.
For someone of Tom Coughlin's age, obviously he's got 2 Super Bowl trophies on his resume, and he's highly regarded. Does his age work against him? Can you see someone hiring Tom Coughlin?
I think Tom Coughlin would be a great hire. I mean, if you're looking for a steady presence, and a guy, he's going to be 70 when the season starts next year, but he's shown no signs that he's unhealthy in any way. So I think the spirit is there and the physical will is there. It's just a matter of, does he fit with a certain team, with where a certain team wants to go. And, will he be there for that long? Probably not, but you get 4 or 5 years out of him, and that, your team would be in pretty good shape.
And as he said when he gave his farewell press conference at MetLife Stadium, his wife, after a couple days, is probably going to be ready for him to grab his jacket and head out the door and go somewhere. So presumably he's looking. He said that, of course, with a chuckle. Matt Bonesteel of the Washington Post, thanks so much. We appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
We're back with a program note after this.